the Beverly Hillbillies, and the Great Jogging Race. Come and listen to a story about a man named Jed, a poor mountaineer who barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up to the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed is a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. They said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars. The Beverly Hillbillies were now living in a world completely different from the quiet hills they once called home. On a bright and sunny morning in Beverly Hills, the grass was green, the air was warm, and a strange new routine was taking place in the backyard of the grand mansion next door. Margaret Drysdale was outside, moving with great determination and shouting back at her husband. You just do not want me to beat you, she called out, her voice filled with competitive energy. I beat you around the backyard before, and you do not think I was really trying. Milton, I am going to qualify for the Beverly Hills Jogging Club before you do. This time I am really going to beat you. Her husband, Milburn Drysdale, was running ahead of her, breathing heavily and trying his absolute best to stay ahead, but his physical conditioning was not quite up to the task. He looked back at her, gasping for air, while she continued to chase him around the green grass, looking like a scarlet dog in her bright red jogging outfit. From the porch of the Clampett mansion, Daisy Moses, known to everyone affectionately as Granny, was watching the scene with wide eyes and total disbelief. She leaned over the railing, pointing a finger at the neighbors. She is chasing Mr. Drysdale around the backyard, Granny whispered to Jed, her voice filled with shock. Chasing Mr. Drysdale? Jed asked, looking up from his seat, mild curiosity showing on his calm, weathered face. Yeah, she done caught him once, Granny declared with a nod of her head. She stripped him right down to his underwear. Jed looked puzzled, scratching his chin as he tried to understand the strange ways of city people. Why would she do that? He asked. Granny shook her head, convinced that a terrible act of violence was taking place right before their eyes. Must have done that when she was strangling him, she reasoned. Strangling him? Jed asked, standing up now to get a better look. Yeah, his face is all red, Granny reported, squinting her eyes. His eyes are bulging. You could use his head for Halloween. I just can't believe it. Well, you will believe it when you see his tongue hanging out. It looks like he hiccuped his liver.
Come on if you have the stomach for it.
Meanwhile, in the backyard next door, the chase had come to a sudden halt. Milburn Drysdale had collapsed onto the manicured grass, completely exhausted, holding his leg in pain. Margaret stood over him, looking down with disappointment rather than sympathy. Always thinking of yourself, Milburn, she complained, crossing her arms. Why could you not collapse on the walk? You know those grass stains will not come out of your clothing. Milburn looked up at her, his face flushed and sweaty. You are all hot, Margaret, he groaned. I have got a cramp in my muscle. Margaret scoffed at him, showing no mercy. What muscle? She snapped. You have got a spasm in your flab. Margaret, you are killing me, Milburn cried out, holding his aching leg. Just at that moment, Jed and Granny came rushing over the property line to rescue their neighbor from what they believed was a dangerous assault. Jed, we got here just in time, Granny shouted, rushing ahead with her fists ready. She's going to grab that other leg of his and make a wishbone out of him. Jed tried to calm her down, looking at the scene with a more analytical eye. Maybe it is some sort of a game, Granny, he suggested softly. Well, if it is, there's going to be an undertaker keeping score, Granny shot back, determined to intervene.
I am going over there right now.
Granny, Jed said, pulling her back gently. If Mr. Drysdale ever found out that we have seen this, he would never be able to hold up his head again. Well, if we do not stop her, he is not going to have no head to hold up, Granny argued. Come on, Granny, Jed said with a sigh. You do not want to stop a fight, you just want to get in on one. Granny looked insulted by the accusation. Oh, you have got an evil mind, Jed, she said. Please, at least let me claim the body. That brute will bury him in his underwear. Milburn Drysdale, hearing the commotion, slowly stood up and tried to regain his dignity in front of his wealthy neighbors. Now, stop worrying about me, he said, brushing off his clothes and trying to act normal despite his exhaustion. The only thing worrying me is whether or not we will be accepted by the Beverly Hills Jogging Club. All the best people are in it. It will help us socially. Margaret looked at him with an annoyed expression. Margaret, do you always have to have an angle? Milburn asked, turning the blame on her. I am joining for health reasons. Margaret smiled a cold, calculating smile. You want the members to put money in your bank, she said plainly. Milburn did not deny it. So what is wrong with a healthy bank? He asked rhetorically. I will be at the office. Back at the Clampett house, Granny was still highly upset by what she had witnessed. She paced up and down the kitchen, shaking her head. Jed, there is only one person to blame for that violence next door, she stated firmly.
Who is that?
Jed asked calmly. You, Granny replied, pointing a finger at him.
Me?
Jed asked, surprised. You stopped me from scrapping with Miss Drysdale, Granny reminded him. You did not see her acting up like this when I was whooping her regular. Oh, Granny, Jed sighed, shaking his head at her old-fashioned notions of neighborly discipline. Spare the rod and spoil the neighbor, Granny declared proudly. And this is just the start. Whooping a man is heady stuff. First her husband, then it will be the postman, the garbage man, the newspaper boy. Jed tried to bring some reason back into the conversation. Granny, I still have a feeling we do not know all the facts. Well, I know one fact, Granny said, throwing her hands in the air. We are getting Ellie Mae and Jethro out of this neighborhood. Here I am over here setting an example of meekness and kindness and Christian forbearance, and that husband-beating hussy over there is tearing down everything I am doing over here. Suddenly, Granny stubbed her toe against the table leg. Oh, ow, she cried out. Jed smiled softly. Granny, you get any meeker you're going to break some bones. Don't make jokes, Granny snapped. Oh, Granny, Jed chuckled. Just then, the front door opened, and Jethro Bodine walked in, looking tired but happy. Oh, here comes the sweet darling now, Granny said, looking at her grandson. Auntie Jethro, she began, but Jed interrupted her. Ah, too late, Jethro, Jed said. She has done been bit by the beating bug. Granny looked at Jethro, with concern. You beat Jethro? She asked, thinking Ellie Mae had attacked him. All the way to the airport and back, Jethro replied cheerfully, completely misunderstanding Granny's concern. Beating bad, Granny whispered in horror. Don't blame her, boy, she told Jethro. The sins of the neighbors have been visited unto the children, even unto their underwear. Jethro looked completely confused, turning to his uncle for guidance. What is she talking about, Uncle Jed? Jethro asked. She thinks Ellie tore your clothes off and give you a beating, Jed explained with a small smile. Beating? Jethro laughed. We have not been fighting, Granny. We have been jogging. Granny froze, her eyes wide. Did you hear that, Jed? They have been jogging, she said, her voice dropping into deep despair. Oh, that my grandchildren should ever come to this. Oh, what is jogging? Granny asked, having never heard the word before in the hills. Granny, jogging is not nothing but running, Jethro explained simply. Running?
Granny asked.
Yeah, it is good for you too, Jethro said with enthusiasm. Movie stars and everybody is doing it. Mr. Drysdale is even joining the jogging club. Ellie Mae is getting an outfit just like mine. You mean Mr. Drysdale goes jogging in an outfit just like yours? Jed asked, trying to picture the banker in such a state. Yes, sir, Jethro answered. Have you not seen him in his backyard? Oh, yeah, we have seen him all around, Jed nodded. Satisfied now, Granny? No, I am not, Granny insisted, stubborn as always. He is too old for that nonsense. Granny, it is for your health, Jethro argued. Well, Mr. Drysdale says it lowers your castor oil. Jed corrected him mildly. That is cholesterol, Jethro. Well, it lowered his till it was dragging, Jethro said. Jed turned to Granny, trying to look at the bright side. Just be happy Mr. Drysdale has finally found something to get his mind off of money. At the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills, Milburn Drysdale was in his office, talking to his faithful secretary, Miss Jane Hathaway. He was not thinking about health at all, he was thinking about profit. Oh, this idiotic jogging business is going to get me $30 million, Mr. Drysdale said, rubbing his hands together with greed. $30 million? Chief, that is ridiculous, Miss Jane said, looking at him skeptically. What does the name Jason Detweiler mean to you? Mr. Drysdale asked her. $30 million, Miss Jane answered instantly, recognizing the name of one of the wealthiest men in the city. And he is the president of the Beverly Hills Jogging Club, Mr. Drysdale explained. He is one of these physical fitness nuts.
So?
Miss Jane asked, still not seeing the connection. So this is my big chance to grab off that $30 million account, Mr. Drysdale said triumphantly. I happen to know his own banker, Carl Wagner, will not go jogging with him. Miss Jane sighed, shaking her head at her boss's ruthless tactics. You also happen to know that Mr. Wagner is 84 years old and has to walk with a cane, she reminded him. Isn't it beautiful? Mr. Drysdale laughed, completely unbothered by the ethical implications. Chief, I hope you choke on that $30 million, Miss Jane said with mock disgust. Oh, what a way to go, Mr. Drysdale smiled. Fortunately, justice will prevail,